I would like to announce the quorum is present, the meeting is duly called, and a notice of the meeting has been posted in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act. The time is 6 p.m. The following board members are in attendance: Allison Lasan, Catherine Sells, Dr. Stacy Barker, Dr. Sheila Taylor, Madison Lopez, Michelle Alcatib, and Jenny Prosnick. We will now convene into closed session as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551, specifically 551.071, 072, 074, 0821, and 089. And the time is 6 p.m. We will now reconvene into open session. The time is 7 p.m. Tonight we have second graders Skylar Brown Jr. and Henry Chicos from Vickery Elementary to lead us in our pledges. Gentlemen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Gentlemen, will you join me at the center of the stage? You can turn around so everyone can see how cute you are. Here are some fun facts about Skylar. Skylar, raise your hand so everyone knows which one you are. There you go. Skylar enjoys playing football. When asked about what he wants to be when he grows up, Skylar said, a principal. Oh. You've already got the suit for it. When asked about favorite teachers, Skylar said, Miss Norris, my second grade teacher, because she always helps me on my work. Here's some fun facts about Henry. Raise your hand, even though they probably guessed who you are. Henry enjoys playing soccer. When asked what he wants to be when he grows up, Henry said, a lawyer. Miss Bay, you got a friend. There you go. When asked about his favorite teacher, Henry said, Mrs. Camacho, because she helped me do something for others. Well done, gentlemen. Thanks for coming out. Are your parents here so we can thank them? Would your parents stand up so we can thank them for partnering us for your education? Well done, gentlemen. Next is to consider action on items discussed in closed section. First up is Chief of Middle Schools. Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Sells.
Madam President, I move that the board approve Dr. Tina Kroll as Chief of Middle Schools as recommended by administration.
Second, Dr. Taylor. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Congratulations, Dr. Kroll. Dr. Kroll, did you bring anybody with you tonight? This is your chance to stand up. You got dressed nice. Come on, get a picture. Congratulations, Dr. Kroll. Next is the principal at Ethridge Elementary School. Would someone like to make a motion? Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the board approve Lisa Burleson as principal of Ethridge Elementary School as recommended by administration.
Is there a second? Ms. Alcatep? All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Congratulations, Ms. Burleson. You want to bring your sweet, well-dressed family on up? Ethridge, come on down. Congratulations, Ms. Burleson. Next is the principal at Homestead Elementary School. Would someone like to make a motion? Yeah. Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the board approve Vanessa Diglia as principal of Homestead Elementary School as recommended by administration.
Y'all, I still need a second. Can I get a second? Dr. Taylor? All those in favor? Now you can cheer. 7-0, vote carries. Come on down, Ms. Diglia. Who'd you bring with you? You've got to get your picture taken or none of this happened. Congratulations, Ms. Diglia. Next is principal at Southridge Elementary School. Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Lopez.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the board approve Clarence Scott as principal of Southridge Elementary School as recommended by administration.
There's a second. Ms. Sells. All those in favor? That is unanimous. Welcome to the district, Mr. Scott. Congratulations.
Okay, Southridge.
Once again, welcome to the LISD family, Mr. Scott. Welcome to all. The Lewisville ISD Board of Trustees meets monthly to receive reports from staff and take action on recommendations from the superintendent. The board receives the agenda and all supporting documentation 10 days in advance of these regular meetings, which allows us to ask and receive answers to many of our questions. The board also meets regularly in scheduled workshops and work sessions where staff discussions and presentations are given for many of the agenda items. This protocol means lengthy discussion or litany of questions on every agenda item is often not necessary, and as a board, we should have appropriate knowledge and preparation for responses regarding the content of tonight. First up, we have a special recognition. She was tiny. It is my honor tonight to take a moment to recognize and thank Michelle Alcatab for her 3 years of service on this board as she rolls off to do other things. And I want to open the floor first to my colleagues. Does anybody want to go first? Ms. Sells.
I would. I've known Michelle a long time. Back in the day, over 10 years ago, I served as the Council of PTA's president. Michelle followed me 2 terms later, and so we got to know each other as we worked together still with the PTAs. And I had to write it down because I'm not sure if she won't get through this tonight, but some of us with our history are going to have a hard time tonight. It's been a true privilege serving alongside you on the Lewisville Independent School District Board. Over the years, I've especially appreciated the opportunity to work with you on so many committees, and those are the fun times, where your thoughtful perspective, preparation, and genuine care for students and staff were always evident. And even if I drew something out on a napkin, you readily accepted it and helped to make it work. You brought both professionalism and heart to every discussion and decision, and our district is stronger because of you. Thank you for the countless hours, the steady leadership and commitment you've given to this community. It's truly been an honor to serve with you, and I'm grateful for the relationships and experiences we've shared along the way. Wishing you all the best in this next chapter, even though I know that you will still be around and I will still be calling you and texting you, and also might want to see that precious family of yours every now and then. So we'll see you at Cafe 3040 next year.
Our brunch bunch.
Our brunch bunch, yes. Love you.
Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, Madam President. Michelle, when you ran for LISD Board Trustee in 2023, I already knew your name. I knew you were someone who showed up for kids. But serving alongside you these past 3 years has shown me just how deep that commitment runs. Before you ever sat on this dais, you were already in every school, every meeting, every room that mattered. As LISD PTA Council President, You were advocating for our kids long before you had a vote on this board. That's who you are, someone with a heart for kids and public education who consistently shows up, informed, committed, and genuinely present in a way that not everyone is willing to be. You didn't do this for a title. You did it because these children and these families deserved someone who would give their whole self to the work, and that is exactly what you gave. The board title just made it official. Public service asks for a lot: time, talent, treasure, sacrifice, and you gave it freely. I am proud to have served beside you these last 3 years, and even prouder to call you my friend. And I know our students, our families, our staff, and our community are better because you showed up. I have no doubt that you will continue to show up because that's just what you do. Ditto, Michelle, ditto.
Ms. Lopez.
Michelle, I want to say that I'm so thankful for your kindness and your grace. I've had the privilege of serving with you for a few months, but it is so clear that you are a woman of grace and of compassion. Michelle, board service as a busy mom, let alone a mom of 4, is no easy feat. The way in which you've shown up on busy days, on good days, on hard days speaks volumes of your passion and your commitment to service for this district. You've walked and led with grace, and I thank you for your personal graciousness. Thank you for your dedication to LISD on this board and beyond. May God bless you and your family as you continue leading with a heart of service. I'm so thankful.
Ms. Hassan.
Michelle, we sincerely thank you for your time and your contributions to Lewisville ISD, and I wish you all the best on your next chapter. And I'm sure your family is going to be enjoying having you a little bit more free, although knowing you, I'm sure you will make up for it in other ways to volunteer. But I know you're not going to be a stranger, and thank you again for your service.
Dr. Barker.
Michelle, we first met on the campaign trail, and I was impressed with your dedication to representing every student in the district. Then we connected at SLI, both educators, both learning the difference between governance and administration, both finding our voices as new board members together. We stayed the newbies together for the next 2 years. We didn't get to lord it over anybody else coming in. I've watched you be a fierce advocate for public schools, for PTA, for LEF, for staff, for parents, for the community, and always for students. You always say, it's about the students. Can't do it without the hand motions. It's about the students. It has been my honor to serve with you as my colleague, as a fellow JAG mom, and most importantly, as my friend. I can't wait to see how you serve and advocate in new ways. Thank you for all you've done and for standing beside me these last 3 years.
Dr. Rapp.
I heard the oh gosh there for them. Michelle, on behalf of the staff and the administration of Lewisville ISD, it is absolutely with great thanks that we thank you for your passion, your dedication, your service to this school district. You, right from the start, dove in both feet. And you have kept up a pace that has challenged Rapp on the road sometimes. But you have been a warrior, not just for Lewisville ISD, but a warrior for public education. Everyone knows that our PTAs in this school district are strong advocates for our public schools, and that started with a legacy that you leave as well. So I want to celebrate that this evening. I want to thank you for that this evening. We're better off in Lewisville ISD and in public schools around the state of Texas for 5 million students because of the voice that you have used, not just in your time on the school board, but in your time as a leader in our community. I have no doubt that you're not going to let that voice rest, and in fact, I'm counting on it. I want to say thank you so much to your precious family. I have enjoyed the moments that I've had with you. I've appreciated that you have shared her with us. These are family jobs, and we know that you all have sacrificed a lot as well. And I hope you feel the love and appreciation this evening, and that you know that your family has made a difference for over 5 million students in the state of Texas. So thank you so much for that.
So I want to borrow Ms. Alcatip's favorite word tonight, which is ditto. Because sometimes one perfect word says it all. Agreement, encouragement, and just the right amount of spark. And in Michelle's case, it seems especially fitting because so much of what she has given to this district deserves an enthusiastic ditto. Public service is never easy, and board service is certainly not for the faint of heart. It takes countless hours of reading, listening, attending meetings, asking hard questions, and making thoughtful decisions on behalf of students, staff, and families. It's serious work, often quiet work, and it rarely comes with confetti, but it does occasionally come with a good Aramark meal. Michelle has brought to this role not only her time and leadership, but also a deep and personal commitment to this district. She has long been an advocate for Lewisville ISD through her volunteer service, parent leadership, district committees, and community partnerships. She has continued to grow as a leader through both the Flower Mound and Lewisville Chamber leadership classes because apparently being highly involved just wasn't quite enough. We also know that service like this is never done alone. It takes the support of family, and we are so grateful to Lou and the kids for sharing Michelle with us. Board service may list only one name on the ballot, but the whole family feels the calendar invitations, the evening meetings, and the full to overflow schedule. So thank you. And the best part for all of us is that we know Michelle is not really going far. She will still be serving on committees, volunteering in classrooms, finding ways to pour into LISD community as the president of the Lewisville Education Foundation. And Michelle, I do still hope that you will join Ms. Sells and I on Thursday mornings as we continue our very serious commitment to supporting and taste testing the work of our culinary students. So tonight, on behalf of this community, we say thank you. Thank you for your leadership, your advocacy, your willingness to serve, the difference you've made, and if there were ever a moment for the community-wide response, I think it would simply be this: ditto. Please join me in thanking Michelle Alcatib for her 3 years of service on the Lewisville ISD School Board.
Okay, before I do the recognize someone's, can I take a moment? Okay, I promised my husband I was not going to cry, and I broke that, so thank you. Thank you, each and every one of you, for your words, your kindness, your compassion. Wow, what a ride. I am going to read my script because I'm going to try to stay focused. Over the past 3 years, serving on this board has truly been one of the greatest honors of my life. Tonight is bittersweet, because while this chapter is coming to a close, the love and appreciation I have for this district will never, ever end. First and foremost, I want to thank my family. Without them, none of this would have been possible. They did not ask for this role. They did not sign up for the sacrifices that came with it. But they have been the foundation that carried me through it all. They supported the late nights, the long meetings, the difficult conversations, and the emotional weight that often comes with serving in public education. They have been my constant source of strength, encouragement, and grace, and I am forever grateful to them. My husband, thank you for being my rock through every step of this journey. Thank you for the unwavering support, the patience, the encouragement, and the love that you have shown me, especially during the moments when this role felt very heavy. You have stood beside me through it all, and I could not have done this without you. I also want to thank former board member Christy, because she believed in me before I even believed in myself. I want to thank her for pushing me, encouraging me to run for this position, and seeing in me someone who could advocate for this district and this community. Serving on a school board is not easy. It requires an incredible amount of time, thought, and heart, much more than people even begin to realize. There are difficult decisions, challenging conversations, and moments where not everyone will agree with the direction that we have chosen. What many may not see is that the board members are working to look at every single possible angle, every single possible perspective, and every impact before making those decisions that we believe are in the best interest of our students, right? Our students, our staff, and the future of this district. And while the work is hard, the reward is immeasurable. Seeing our students succeed, we're about to see it now. Watching our staff thrive and witnessing the incredible things happening across this district makes every single challenge I have been through worth it. To our incredible staff, your commitment, your passion, your dedication are what drive this district forward each and every single day. From our teachers and our support staff, to our campus guardians, to our campus leaders, our district administration, you pour into our students with care, heart, and purpose. I have had the privilege of witnessing the impact that you make across this district, and it is truly, truly inspiring. Our students are successful because of the people who show up for them daily, and our community is stronger because of each of you. Thank you for all that you do for LASD and for the countless lives that you touch along the way. To my fellow board members, thank you for trusting me, listening to me, valuing my voice, and challenging me to grow. Each of you has made me a better leader and a better person, and I will always cherish the relationships and experiences that each and every one of us have shared. My hope and plea to each of you is that you continue advocating for this entire district, every single student in our district, every single staff member, every family, every campus. Continue being present in our schools and in our community. Continue listening to all of the sides and continue making decisions that are rooted in what is best for the future of LASD. The work is not always easy, but it matters deeply. And our community deserves leaders who lead with compassion, thoughtfulness, and integrity. I do not exactly know what comes next for me in the role of LASD, but I do know this. I will always continue to advocate for this district and for public education. My voice is strong. Our students,
Families, staff, and community deserve strong voices standing beside them and supporting them. I want to thank you, the LASD community, for entrusting me with this position and allowing me this privilege to serve. It has really, truly been an honor. Thank you. I did it.
And for the final time this year, Ms. Alcatab, would you please raise the recognized someones?
Gladly. A parent shared about Ms. Castillo at Morningside Elementary. I would like to recognize Ms. Castillo for being such a kind, patient, and supportive teacher. She always has a warm smile and treats the children with so much care and respect. She is very calm and helpful, and even when she needs to remind students of something, she does it with such a gentle and positive way. My daughter's in first grade at Morningside Elementary School. She is a very sensitive and emotional child, and moving from Dallas to this school earlier this year was a very difficult and emotional change for us. At first, it felt like a big risk for me as a parent, but after a few weeks in Ms. Castillo's class, I realized how blessed we are. It became clear that it was truly a wonderful decision, and my daughter is very lucky to have her as her teacher. A parent shared about Coach Harbin at Lakeview Middle School. Coach Harbin has such a heart for kids. Thank you for lifting up our son through his middle school years. You have encouraged him to take on new things and to try his best through every adventure. You are a true example of what a coach should be. Thank you for all that you have done, not only for our son, but all of Lakeview students. And a parent shared about Miss Marino from Killian Middle School. Miss Marino has created such a positive, welcoming culture in her program. My daughter and her friends have shared how much they included, supported, and excited to be there, and that says everything. She also gives up her own free time to host after-school socials so the kids can connect and make new friends. Middle school can be overwhelming, and those extra opportunities to build new friendships and feel like they belong makes such a difference. I wanted her to know it doesn't go unnoticed. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Alcatab. Now, Communications will share this month's recognitions and student spotlights.
Donald STEM Academy has been named an American Student Council Association's 2026 National School of Excellence Award winner, one of only 54 schools across the country to receive this prestigious honor. Donald's Student Council earned the recognition for two standout projects: their Valentine's Day Candygram fundraiser, which raised $300 for a local animal shelter, and their Storybook Elves initiative, where members dressed as elves to read to younger classrooms as a reward for good behavior. But the national honors don't stop there. Donald teacher Lindsay Thomas was also named a 2026 ASCA Exemplary Advisor, one of just 25 in the entire nation. Congratulations, Ms. Thomas, and the amazing Donald Student Council.
Before Ms. Emmett comes to introduce, I do want to say that Mrs. Emmett was also awarded the Student Council Leader Award as well. I nominated both of them. They are amazing leaders and mentors to these students, so I'm very proud of them.
With us today, we have our Student Council officers. We have Mira Alcatib, Remington Hamilton, Natalie Medina, and Natalie Morgan.
3 outstanding students from LISD have earned top state honors in this year's Texas PTA Reflections Contest. From McAuliffe Elementary, Cecilia Benners won the overall award of excellence in primary dance choreography for This Is Me. From Old Settlers Elementary, Song Yoon Lee took top honors in primary visual arts for her I Belong book. And from Donald Elementary, Emilio Miranda won for the Accessible Arts Film Production with We All Belong Together. Both Song Yoon and Emilio advanced to win the highly coveted National Award of Merit. Congratulations to these amazing students.
We just wanted to let you know that Song Yoon's family has moved, so she wasn't able to be here to be recognized, but we're so proud of her accomplishments as well. And do we have any parents or teachers in the audience? Can you stand up and be recognized with our kids?
Liberty and Old Settlers Elementary PTAs have earned the Platinum Voice for Every Child Award, the highest membership honor a local PTA can receive at the state level. This incredible achievement reflects on their commitment to making sure that every child on their campus has a member and a voice representing them. Congratulations to both of these PTAs on this well-deserved recognition.
We just want to congratulate Liberty for their second year in a row of achieving Platinum Voice. We have Jennifer Bogdanowitz, our PTA president. Do you want to come introduce your friends?
It has been a wonderful 2 years. We've worked really hard, had a great community of women and men that made this possible. And I want to introduce Dr. Rainey, our principal, Chelsea Sham, our membership for the last 2 years, who just rocked every ounce of membership you can imagine. And Miranda McLean, she will be our president starting next year.
Old Settlers Elementary unfortunately had another event tonight, so they're not able to be here with us, but both of these schools achieved well past the threshold to receive this award, so we're very proud of both of them.
Journalism students across LISD earn top honors in both state and national competitions, showcasing their talent, dedication, and storytelling excellence. In the UIL Interscholastic League Press Conference competition, Hebron High School had 1 second place and 2 third place awards. Lewisville High School earned 1 third place award. Marcus High School earned 1 second place and 1 third place award. In the Texas Association of Journalism Educators competition, Hebron High School won 1 first place and 3 second place awards. Lewisville High School received 1 first place award and 7 third place awards. Congratulations to all these outstanding journalism students for their hard work and remarkable achievements.
Hi, I'm Madeline Cooper. I'm from Hebron High School. I am the yearbook advisor and the Hawk TV advisor, and I have Kaden Butler here today representing both publications.
Thank you. I'm Katie DiDonato. I'm the newspaper advisor at Hebron High School, and this is Juliana Werlinik, and she's representing our Hawkeye newspaper. And then do we have any parents in the audience here? Congratulations to them wherever they are.
All right, good evening. Always nice when you don't have to tilt the microphone down. I'm Philip Leone. I'm the advisor for the Marcus newspaper, the Marquee. Second year in a row that we got the Silver Star. Kind of a big deal, and that's a credit to our staff, and especially two seniors here that I have with me tonight. I have Macy Doan, second year on staff. She's one of our co-editors, two-time third place winner of the personal column. And then I also have Astor Jones, three-time state champion, third place winner in feature writing. So how about a hand for these two?
Academic decathlon teams across the district mastered a rigorous curriculum of testing, public speaking, and essay writing. From Hebron High School, state honors included first in math, 2 second-place finishes, and 2 third-place finishes. On the national stage, Erica Gupta brought home the gold in speech. Marcus High School captured 3 first-place and 4 second-place finishes at state. Nationally, Cameron Moncrief placed 3rd in economics and ranked as a top 3 individual overall. From the Colony High School, state students earned 1 first place, 1 second place, and 5 third place finishes. At nationals, Nicholas Ash earned 3rd in science, while Chloe Park took 3rd in art and won 1st place with a perfect score in literature. Congratulations, decathletes. Flower Mound High School's Jack Wazlowski claimed an incredible achievement in speech and debate this year in the UIL Congress State Contest, an individual contest modeled after the legislative process of the United States Congress, where students draft legislation, debate real-world social and political policies, and vote on bills using the parliamentary procedure. Showcasing exceptional eloquence and quick wit with the competition, Jack was crowned the State Congress Champion. Congratulations, Jack. Students from Flower Mound and Marcus High Schools earned top honors at the Texas Association of Future Educators annual Teach Tomorrow Summit. Bailey Wallace from FMHS earned first place in portfolio. 4 MHS students earned first place in their respective events. Audrey Daly in Creative Lecture, Grace Terrell in Exploring Non-Core Teaching Careers, and Sydney Stroud and Brooke Williams in Teacher-Created Materials. Together, the 2 campuses had 5 students qualify for the national competition, a remarkable achievement that reflects their hard work and dedication. Congratulations to these inspiring future educators.
Hello, my name is Carrie Eisworth, Taffy Teacher Leader at Flower Mound High School. Congratulations to Bailey Wallace for achieving a perfect score in portfolio at state.
My name's Kendall Hahn, and I am the teacher leader for Marcus Taffy. I want to introduce Jaden Buck for Interactive Bulletin Board, Audrey Daly for Creative Lecture, and Sydney and Brooke for Teacher Creative Materials. If any families in the room, you guys can stand for recognition and give it a round of applause for our girls.
Students from Flower Mound, Hebron, and Marcus High Schools earned top honors at the 2026 Texas DECA State Career Development Conference, with several advancing to the international level. On the world stage, Marcus High School students Shriman Karnati and Arush Penmetsa placed 3rd out of 200 teams in the Community Awareness Project at the International Career Development Conference in Atlanta. Outstanding work to all of our DECA students.
Hi, I'm Robin Zost, and I am the advisor for Flower Mound High School. These are my students, Tanay Yedamali, and he was in sports entertainment marketing, and Advik Ramanani. He actually won top 10 in testing, so we're super proud.
So Hebron had 15 students compete, but AP exams are tomorrow, and so we have 4 who are here tonight. Maya Anoop, her very first year in Principles of Finance, made it to the international level. And then our other 3 ladies in their lovely orange Texas ICDC shirts. They competed in Business Operations Research, and we have Lena Kim, Sophia Karuthadoth, and Rhea Thomas.
I'm Kendra Day, and I'm the Marcus Deck Advisor, and these are my wonderful students. They were all state winners, and they got to compete in Atlanta at ICDC. On the end, coming this way, I have Sriman Karnati, Arush Pinmetsa, Ishan Prashant, Chan Young Kim. One of their partners couldn't be here today, Sam Skotnikov. Then I have Sanhit Mooli, Vinay Vapa, Nivrit Koturi, and Shriyans Raju. I did want to call out a couple, the 2 on the end, Shriman and Arush. They actually made it to the finals, and out of 200, they got 3rd place at international, so quite an accomplishment. And if we have any of their parents, would y'all stand?
Two students earned top honors at the HOSA State Leadership Conference for Future Health Professionals. From Flower Mound High School, Anvita Rayala took home first place in the state for job-seeking skills. And from Hebron High School, Sophia Matthew placed third in the state for medical terminology. Congratulations to these future healthcare leaders.
My name is Amanda Killo. Hello. My name is Amanda Killo, and I'm the sponsor of HOSA. And yes, I'm a social studies teacher doing a science thing. So, but I just wanted to say that she got first in state, as you heard, but also the Texas chapter is the largest one they have. And so it's quite a feat that she was able to do that. So we go to internationals in June.
Unfortunately, Sophia Matthew could not make it tonight, but she made it to international on her first attempt. She got 3rd place, so we're super proud of her. Thank you.
Flower Mound High School has captured its 4th consecutive UIL 6A State Robotics Championship. Leading the way this year is Team Mechanical Advantage. Founded in 2023, this team has seen a rapid rise to the top, securing the state title and the prestigious Inspire Award for Technical Design and Community Outreach. Their victory earned them a spot at the World Championships in Houston, where they now rank among the top 800 student engineer groups globally. Congratulations to Mechanical Advantage and Flower Mound High School on this amazing achievement.
Okay, so as they are called, Mechanical Advantage, this year they've had a lot of success. They won state UIL. This is their fourth one, but they also won recently. They went to Worlds down in Houston and took second Inspire in their division, which is like Inspire's like the highest award you can get in FIRST Robotics. So they took a second place, and so that's what they did. And there's Aria and Shivali and Adit and Tarun and Manaspeech, right? So that's the game.
And parents.
Flower Mound High School earned a great achievement in the world of strings. The Zenith Quartet from Flower Mound High School recently traveled to the UIL State Instrumental Chamber Music Competition to face off against the best young musicians in Texas. Following a spectacular performance, they officially earned second place in the state. This silver medal finish is a testament to the group's incredible dedication, precision, and artistry. Congratulations to the members of the Zenith Quartet on this outstanding honor.
Good evening. Thank you for recognizing them. My name's Brent Biscup. I'm the band director and I will let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name's Ethan Murray.
My name's Vihan Dagula.
I'm Leon Sheno. I'm Rav Chopra.
If any of their parents are here, if you could please stand up, be recognized. And thank you for coming. And then thank you to our wonderful administration.
Student artists from Flower Mound High School swept top honors in this year's Congressional Art Competition. FMHS senior Emily Zhang was named the second place winner for her artwork, Weaving Together America, which will hang in Congressman Gill's Capitol Hill office for 1 year. Additionally, FMHS sophomore Manya Varma earned third place for her artwork, Writing Free, to be displayed in the Flower Mound District office. Incredible work, Emily and Manya.
So I'm Nancy Lawrence from Flower Mound High School, and we just really appreciate Emily being here. Manya could not be here this evening, but yes, we're very proud of her getting her artwork to go up to DC. So.
Student artists were recently recognized in the Scholastic Art and Writing Awards, the nation's longest-running program for young artists. This year, 4 students from Flower Mound High School earned the prestigious Regional Gold Key, the highest honor at the multi-state regional level. Leah Shizno earned gold in ceramics and glass. Audrey Hong received gold in painting. Micah Terrell earned gold in drawing. And Ela Kogolshev took home 2 gold keys for both drawing and mixed media. Congratulations, students.
Again, just thank you so much for recognizing them and having them here for this. We appreciate y'all.
And any parents in the audience? Yes?
Yay!
Congratulations.
Two students from the Hebron 9th grade campus have earned the prestigious Gold Seal Award at the Visual Arts Scholastics event, the state's premier recognition program for visual arts. Yvonne Lee and Tegan Anderson were recognized for artwork that demonstrated exceptional originality and technical excellence. As Gold Seal winners, their pieces will be featured in exhibitions across Texas, culminating in the statewide Gold Seal exhibition this fall. Way to go! LISD is proud of you.
All right, thank you. We have Tegan Anderson here today to accept congratulations, so thank you all.
Well done. Next up is our superintendent update. Dr. Rapp.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. I'm pleased to bring you this month's rundown as we close out this school year. Of course, last week we celebrated our teachers with Teacher Appreciation. I want to say thank you. So many different groups, from our student leaders to our PTAs to different community groups that recognized our educators and teachers across our campuses. Thank you also to our PTAs that adopt schools that do not necessarily have as strong of a PTA presence so that their educators can feel appreciated as well. Then, of course, we spent a good portion of last month going around and celebrating our Employee of the Year winners. We've been highlighting them on our social media channels as well. We have different winners in all kinds of categories, from custodian, nurse, librarian, principal, and administration, different categories of winners that we were so honored to go around with all of you and recognize throughout the course of this last month too. And we love seeing their stories online. I always appreciate the opportunity to point out specific milestones across campuses. This month, Parkway Elementary celebrated 30 years, and it was great to go by there. It was a very special milestone celebration, so many different people that were able to connect with each other. It's often like a family reunion, but just a great way to see a community come out and celebrate, from families that have had their kids attend there and now their kids are attending there. It just shows the power of public schools every time you celebrate a milestone birthday like that. I also want to say thank you to our campus support services team as they organized a great ESPY Awards. We love celebrating our students. This is really a couple of months of strong recognition for students and employees, and no greater example of that than our Exceptional Student Awards. And then also I want to say thank you to LEF for a great scholarship ceremony, recognition ceremony, as we got to celebrate many of our students and the scholarships that they receive as they get ready to walk that graduation stage. This month, I've had an opportunity as I go out and connect with students and staff to visit Ms. Ramos's class at Lily Jackson. I appreciate always the opportunity to see our littlest learners in action and our staff who work so hard on those lessons and experiences that really engage our pre-K kids. And then I celebrated the last meeting of my high school student advisory for this year. Of course, elections are underway at all of our high school campuses for our new student officers, and I appreciate the feedback that the student officers give me each and every year. We recently, for connection with staff, I had an opportunity as Ms. Asbin invited me to come talk with her leadership team, and I appreciated that opportunity. They were studying a leadership book that our principals have been studying as well, so I appreciate Ms. Asbin for investing in her campus leaders in that way. Of course, we recently also celebrated National School Bus Driver Day. Thank you to everybody that pulled that together, including our Aramark team that helped provide breakfast for our bus drivers. We appreciate them so very much. As far as connection with the community goes, I enjoyed my second annual opportunity to read at the Kindergarten Mother's Day Tea at Wellington. I appreciated being a guest reader for their special book there and enjoying with fellow moms ahead of Mother's Day. I also appreciated the opportunity to attend the 25th Annual Mayor's Prayer Breakfast alongside many of you as our community gathers to pray for all different leaders and aspects of our community. I appreciate that our schools are included in that. And then we also recently celebrated our Educator of the Year winner at the Lewisville Chamber Annual Awards Gala. Ms. John was recognized from Creek Valley Middle School, and it was great to get to celebrate her that evening. As far as my monthly newsletters go, I've got an average click rate of 8.15%. That is above the industry standard. The most clicked links include the Employee of the Year winners that we've been recognizing, are all for lunch. And as you all spoke about at your work session, we've really been highlighting the community's opportunity to help take care of students who may run into deficit lunch balances. So thank you so much for the team for getting the word out on that. Our Recognize Someone submissions were another most clicked on link. And then in the staff newsletter, again, Employee of the Year winners, employee perks, and our April board meeting recap. Quick minute about marketing for our school district as we continue our One Choice campaign this school year. Of course, we've launched our Picture Yourself Here enrollment campaign, which includes spots at Grandscape. We're given those spots as part of a barter agreement. We don't have to pay anything for that advertising, so we appreciate our partners at Grandscape for giving us that opportunity to show off our school district. We have enrollment events coming up at Bolin, May 27th and 28th, and I appreciate our staff who have pulled all of those enrollment events together. And then our last day of school is coming up, May 22nd. We'll close out the 25-26 school year, and we'll get ready to graduate over 4,000 students across 2 days. And you can see we are very busy in the summer with all of those programs that you have on the screen. I appreciate all of the staff who are pulling those programs together, along with any transportation that's needed for students who are participating in those programs and qualify for transportation. And Madam President, that's my rundown for this month.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rapp. Public comments are next on the agenda. Those who wish to speak at a board meeting often expect a dialogue with the Board of Trustees. However, in accordance with Texas law, the board is not able to respond directly to comments or questions posed by speakers. Texas law also does not allow the board to discuss or take action on any issue presented during the public forum unless the item has already been posted for action on the meeting agenda. Each speaker will receive a written follow-up from the district in the next 3 business days. The board and district administration welcomes and values the feedback shared during this time of the meeting, and we are grateful for the continued partnership between LISD and the families and the communities that we serve. First up will be Lewisville ISD stakeholders, meaning current students, parents, employees, and residents of Lewisville ISD. Each will have up to 3 minutes for their presentations. We have 3 speakers. McKenna Greer.
Hello, my name is McKenna Greer, and I wanted to address the construction this summer at the Westside Aquatic Center. I swim for both Lakeside Aquatic Club and Flower Mound High School varsity team. Both of those teams swim out of the Westside Aquatic Center. This process will be extremely damaging to the club and disrupt the season, especially since the Eastside Aquatic Center is already closed due to construction. However, the effects go far beyond just club swimming. During the summer, the WAC has many other events offered at the facility. Between water polo teams and camps, swim lessons, and neighborhood swimming meets, the summer is the busiest season of the year at the WAC. If the pool is shut down for the majority of the summer, not many places nearby have open water space for these activities, so will likely not be available at all for families. Also, each of these activities provide money for the district. Every renter pays LISD large amounts of money to use the facility. By taking the summer away, that will be a huge loss of profit, especially with the amount of activities going on this summer. Pushing the project back would be highly beneficial for everyone involved, LISD, and many other extracurricular activities. This summer is not an ideal time to start this project because of the high demand for a functioning facility due to the increased amount of water activities over the summer. Thank you for your time, and I hope you will consider rescheduling the proposed construction. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Greer. Emily Lamb.
Good evening, and thank you for your time. My name is Emily Lamb, and I'm a junior at Flower Mound High School, and I'm also a swimmer for Lakeside Aquatic Club, and I'm also here to discuss the closing of the Westside Aquatic Center. This past year has already been extremely difficult due to the closure of the Eastside Aquatic Pool. We were told that Eastside would be completed before construction began on Westside, so the sudden change and the lack of communication has been extremely frustrating for swimmers, coaches, and families. With 2 of the 4 Lakeside sites now closed, many families are being forced to drive over 30 minutes each way for practice. For parents who work full-time, this is not realistic every day. I'm also a lifeguard at the Westside Aquatic Center, and many of us paid almost $400 to become certified and plan our summers around working there. And now many students and even full-time employees are suddenly left without jobs or income for most of the summer. I ask you all to consider delaying construction on the Westside Aquatic Center until the Eastside Pool is completed. This decision impacts not only swimmers, but coaches, parents, and employees throughout our community. Thank you for your time and your consideration.
Thank you, Ms. Lamb. Connor Reed.
Hello, my name is Connor Reed, and I'm currently in 8th grade at Briar Hill Middle School, and I'll be a freshman at Marcus next year. I'm also a member of Lakeside Aquatic Club. First, I want to thank you for having me tonight. For those in the room who are not aware, as of May 22nd, the Westside Aquatic Center will be closing for most of the summer. I'm here because I want you to understand what the Westside Aquatic Center and LAC mean to kids like me. Swimming isn't just something I do for fun, it's a big part of my life. It's where I go to work hard, improve, and feel proud of myself. It's also where I go when things feel stressful or overwhelming. At the pool, I can focus, be myself, and keep working toward my goals. This team has taught me how to stay disciplined, how to push through hard things, and how to be part of something bigger than myself. When this was announced, it didn't just affect our schedules, it affected our families. Parents are now having to make really hard choices about work, transportation, and whether their kids can keep doing something they love. For us, this isn't just a schedule change. It feels like something important in our lives is being taken away all of a sudden. I understand that decisions like this are complicated, but I hope you will think about how this affects students and families, not just schedules. I'm asking you to please reopen the Westside Aquatic Center for the summer. Because to you this might be a facility, but to us it's a place where we grow, where we belong, and where we become who we're meant to be. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Moving on, item J, consent items. Are there any items to be pulled, or would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Sells.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the consent agenda items as recommended by administration.
Is there a second? Ms. Alcatab? All those in favor? The vote carries 7-0. Next up are our information items. Fine Arts and Athletics 2026-2027 update. Mr. Skelton.
Okay, well, good evening. Madam President, Dr. Rabb, Board of Trustees, first of all, I'd like to begin with a thank you. Thank you for the opportunity to provide you with this annual update. Each year, it means a lot to us to be able to talk about the wonderful work that our coaches and our fine arts directors are doing. And I'd also like to begin by saying just thank you in general for supporting these programs so well. We know that we're blessed to have that kind of support in this district, and while we have phenomenal coaches and fine arts directors, we also couldn't do it without your support, so thank you so much. Okay, as we begin, we have, and I'll introduce in just a second or turn it over to Coach Lyles, Christy Lyles, our athletic director, and Amanda Drinkwater, our fine arts director. They've given me the opportunity to present the first 5 slides to you this evening, and so I'd like to take a few minutes and just brag about our programs with you before taking a deeper dive with each of our directors. Okay, when I see this slide, when I was preparing my comments for this evening, first of all, I'm really moved by what we see on camera, by what we see in those pictures, but also want to point out what's happening on the other side of those cameras. These programs, fine arts, athletics, they really bring our entire community together. Now, in the photos that you see on the other side of that camera, most likely are the wonderful people we have in the communications department, but most of the time, these pictures are taken by, as you know, our parents and our families. And so these programs really bring not only our entire schools together, but also all of our communities. And so if this were a transportation update, this next slide would be the by the numbers slide. But I'd just like to point out that we have in Lewisville ISD 820 sports teams, 619 fine arts offerings. We have, and we serve 25,000 students K through 12 in our fine arts programs, and we have 12,000 student athletes. I want to take just a second and think about the impact that these programs have not only on the students and families that they serve, but also in the entire schools and communities that they serve. We have 35 team state championships in athletics. And in fine arts, it's a little bit different. Not everything is a team championship, but 10 UIL State Marching Band championships, 3 UIL State One Act Play championships, 6 UIL State Theatrical Design championships. And then down at the bottom, if you see an average of 60 plus TMEA All-State musicians annually, 100 plus UIL concert and sight reading sweepstakes ratings annually, and an average of 20 plus state level art distinctions annually. And I want to celebrate that this feels normal to us. It's not normal, and we all know that, and that's wonderful that we get to feel that way, but I think that we should say this is not normal, and also the impact that these programs have on the entire communities that they serve and within the walls of our high schools. Our high schools have great traditions and middle schools, but when we're talking about state championships and state level accomplishments of our entire student body coming out into the halls and cheering on these students as they go to state, and that the level of excellence that provides all of our students, even if they're not enrolled in these programs, is just a really special thing in Lewisville ISD. And so in that way, we're building a culture of champions. Okay, a few fast facts. This year, we have $120 million in academic scholarships awarded to these students. We have Lewisville ISD Athletics includes over 350 coaches and assistant coaches and also 275 directors in elementary, middle, and high. And I do want to say, you know, Lewisville ISD graduation rate is one of the things we're very, very proud of. And we know, you know, for all of our fine arts directors and all our coaches that are listening, you're a huge, huge part of that. And we just want to thank you and also celebrate you in helping us achieve that great mark for graduation rate. Okay, and now to take a deeper look at the outstanding work of our coaches and fine arts directors, I will turn it over to Christy Lyles and Amanda Drinkwater.
Hello. Okay. Thank you guys for having us tonight. I just want to appreciate the school board, our district leadership, and Dr. Lori Rapp for everything that you guys do to support our coaches and our students. And we are spoiled. We're unique, and I love it because we do so many great things in athletics statewide, and it's a pleasure and an honor to serve our coaches and students. I do want to recognize my staff. My Associate Athletic Director, Colby Davis, is here to support our efforts tonight, and my Assistant Athletic Director, Cole Ford. So I appreciate what they do. I couldn't do anything that I need to do without those two, so I really appreciate them being here tonight. I want to also, I've got to figure out how this works. I think it goes there. Okay. The slide with the 35 state championships, this is first world problems, but swim and dive was at the bottom, and I guess it didn't make the screen, but I did have that on there, so that was with Marcus, so I just wanted to make sure that that was acknowledged. We're very proud of our leadership programs, recognition, and our empowerment of our coaches. We have put together things from 2020 to present to help our coaches be better, help them aspire to be, if you're an assistant coach, be a head coach. If you want to be an athletic director, we want to provide opportunities that we can visit and talk about how to make yourself better and stronger and not just be satisfied in the position that you are, that we always want to strive to be the best that we can be. So we have an Assistant Coach of the Month award that all 5 of our high schools recognize our assistant coaches. We all know that they're the ones that are probably doing a lot of the legwork and a lot of the things, and so we want to honor those people because the head coaches are usually the ones that get the credit and are in the newspaper, so our assistant coaches need to feel that appreciation. We have our first year coaches mentor program, and we have retired coaches in our district that mentor our first year and second year coaches, and it's been a wonderful program. We're on our 6th year, which seems crazy, but we're on our 6th year of that program, and it's fantastic. We also have our aspiring head coaches cohort where coaches can sign up, and we meet twice a year and we talk about ways to build your resume, to get into the positions at a campus that show leadership qualities that you can possess to become a head coach. And then we have our aspiring athletic administration cohort that our coaches that want to aspire to be in athletic administration. And we talk about different things and all the different rules that you need to know, not only about your sport, but all the sports that you would serve. So that's just a basic outline of that. State representation is a very big deal for us, and we have several coaches that serve with the Texas High School Coaches Association and the Texas Girls Coaches Association on different committees, whether it's all state committees, all the different things that our organizations provide. And so this is a list of our coaches that serve on advisory committees and have a voice in their programs, and I'm very proud, and I would love for our voice to be in every sport. That is definitely a goal that we want to achieve, but just having the representatives from our district that get to not represent just us as a district, but they're valued and their opinions matter to the state level of our organizations and with UIL. So we're very proud of our coaches that represent these programs. All right, next thing. All right, so this is this year's current. We still have some other sports that are still going, so this list could change. So that's exciting. We're not done. What's unique about our school district is I know that there's a lot of school districts out there. They're done with their seasons. They don't have anyone going to state track. They don't have anyone in the baseball or softball playoffs, and so we're very fortunate that we have so many things still going on, and I'm so proud of our coaches for that. This year we had 10 district championships. We had 10 by-district finalists, 3 area finalists, 3 regional quarterfinalists. 1 regional finalist, 1 state semifinalist, and 2 state runners-up so far this year. We currently, like I said, we have some athletes going to the state track meet this weekend, and we have 5 teams, 3 baseball teams and 2 softball teams that are currently still in the playoff run. So we're very excited about the end of our year and what the future holds for our teams. All right. Here are some highlights that are, I love to have the unique highlights. And so not only are we successful with the 35 state championships, but this year we had 2 unique situations where our Marcus girls water polo team won state, and then our Marcus boys swim and dive won state, which is the first time in LISD history, as well as the water polo team. But that's just 2 of the real big highlights. But this is the one that I'm most proud of. We've had a state championship every calendar year for the last 16 years. I'm not talking just school year, but calendar year. And so that is a streak that I'm super proud of since 2010. So it's exciting, and we hope to keep that tradition alive in our schools and our district. These are our 2 state championship programs. We have our water polo team and our boys swim and dive that I mentioned earlier. And then this is something that's very unique as well. And I know that you look at this list, you're like, okay, that's great. But these coaches on this list represent Region 3. There are 8 regions in the state of Texas. And these coaches are selected in our region. Dallas-Fort Worth area is huge. And so for our coaches to have this kind of recognition is so amazing. And it's just a tribute to what they do and how they are honored through our state. And I would like to just mention in Flower Mound, those are our coaches that were recognized as Regional Coaches of the Year. Andrew Cook, Melissa Cook, Danny Gillum, and Sherika Nelson. Danny Gillum and Melissa Cook are assistant coaches, so they do recognize assistant coaches. And Tiffany Mangini, she was the Regional Girls Wrestling Coach of the Year, but then she was awarded the State Girls Wrestling Coach of the Year just last week, and we got to surprise her. And it was great because she was dressed up for Spirit Day, and she was wearing all the neon you could possibly find, and so she was somewhat going, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening today. But at the same time, it was just wonderful because it just shows her spirit and what she does for Flower Mound. So I'm so excited for her. At Hebron, Donzie Lilly and Sarah Carlisle. Sarah Carlisle got the Assistant Coach of the Year. Donzie got the Water Polo Coach of the Year. Marcus was Brandon Dion and David Conrad, representing swim and dive and water polo. And then Creek Valley, Mandy Cluley. The Texas High School Athletic Directors Association gives an award for the Middle School Coordinator of the Year, and she got that award throughout the entire state. So those are highlighted in gold because those are the state accomplishments, and we're so proud of what they have done and just the representation of us and especially their schools and their students. Lastly, athletics. We invest a lot in our character development and positive team building. There's nothing better than school-based athletics. There's nothing better than playing for your team, playing for your community, and representing what it's all about. And we're also want to be good sportsmen. You know, sportsmanship is important. And so the Texas Way is a program, a platform that all Texas coaches and students, it's a platform to learn about sportsmanship. It's to teach sportsmanship. And we want to be the Texas way when we go out on the field, and we want to be courteous to our opponents and be respectful. And so it's a fantastic platform to teach our kids more about just winning and losing. We also do the 2 words character development by Stephen Mackey, and our coaches have access to all kinds of curriculum that they can watch and do really positive, powerful lessons with their kids on different circumstances. And it's also for parents as well, and they can have some opportunities too to learn alongside their kid and the coaches. And that is where athletics ends and fine arts begins. So thank you for your time. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks so much, Coach Lyles, and thanks for having us here this evening. We're so proud to present for you tonight, and as we are proud every time we leave the hallowed halls of LISD facilities, oftentimes the last thing that a director or coach will say is, let's go make LISD proud, or let's go make Flower Mound High School proud. That is something that's really important to these groups that represent, and it is difficult to support high investment programs in challenging times, and we're very aware of that. It takes everybody here tonight and everybody at home watching and supporting, and we appreciate it more than we can ever put into words. So thank you for letting us present tonight. We've done a little bit of the participation data by the numbers, but just a reminder that all of our kids get art and music on a regular basis. That's something to be very proud of. The retention rate, all of our 6th grade students have to take a fine art, but the retention rate for both fine arts and engagement in athletics at the middle school level is very high, which we're very proud of. 9th through 12th grades, about 60% of those students take at least one fine arts course, if not more. While I said fine arts, I forgot to mention my amazing colleague, Michael Valentine, who's actually working on behalf of our programs tonight, so he would have been here had he not been doing that, but he's a tremendous partner in all of these things. If you wonder what we do in fine arts, besides getting buses for the programs, we do coordinate transportation, of course. We facilitate a lot of district instruments and equipment repairs, services, and whatnot. Of course, we attend rehearsals, performances, all the things that they do. We serve as an advisory resource for curriculum learning and teaching materials. We clear approximately 300 people to come in each year on behalf of our programs to help enrich their learning through private lessons, through accompanists, clinicians, jurors, judges, just like you saw this evening with some of our art folks. We do bring all of those people through the Fine Arts Office to help support the programs, and that's a pretty significant endeavor. We're still working on bond projects. As you know, you hear them brought up every single meeting. We have facilities going on all the time. Still, some of our projects from both the last bond elections are underway. Program standards, we're always working to define and refine those standards to make sure that we're giving the best possible experiences to students and just creating an environment and a culture of excellence in every program that they have a chance to be a part of. And then performance standards. So we want all of the students in LISD to have equitable access to high quality programs in all disciplines on all campuses. This is not a district in which we foster excellence at one school or an academy setting for fine arts. This is a district in which we promote excellence on all campuses for all disciplines. We hope to sustain LISD's reputation as a leader in fine arts education across Texas, and we of course try to support our teachers each and every day. We have a lot of community partnerships. I know our athletics colleagues do as well. We have the opportunity to collaborate with the Lewisville Grand Theater on a regular basis. They host us and have our events there. We really enjoy that collaboration. The Lewisville Lake Symphony and the First Baptist Church in Lewisville, you guys are aware of the 3rd grade symphony event every year that takes place. The Visual Arts League, they provide scholarships and awards for our art shows and many university programs. We don't have anybody flying in on helicopters for fine arts people. I mean, nobody comes on a Learjet to get a trumpet player, but not, you know, it could happen. But we do have a lot of university directors that come by to visit our programs and, of course, listen to, recruit, and enrich our students. There are many things that happen at the campus level that are fine arts related or significant fine arts events that you see in here. We support these at a little different level than the events that we facilitate as a district office. The high school musicals are a good example of this, that it's a campus-based endeavor. The high school dance spring shows, honor group entries, community showcases, all of these things. There are many things taking place, many of which we don't even track. We'll find out through social media like you do. Oh, good, that group of 6 kids went down to Austin and did a cool thing this weekend. So there's many, many events that they attend, as you all know. We did have a couple of state championships since the last time we had a Fine Arts Update, and I believe, as Mr. Skelton said, we really only have two available state championships for the time being, and that's in high school marching band and then, of course, high school one-act play. And so the theatrical design students that you see on the right there from Flower Mound High School, that's a part of the one-act play state contest. They design these wonderful costumes or makeup or staging for these theatrical programs, and we had 2 gold medalists, which is tremendous, from Flower Mound High School, and it was a good year for Flower Mound because their band earned the gold medal in marching band this year, so it was a Jaguar celebration. Other state and national accolades, these are silver, bronze medalists, TMEA invited groups, SWACTA invited groups, of course the VASE Gold Seals, which we met those students today, and we're not done with the season yet. Marcus travels to state one-act play next week, so we're very, very excited to continue the year and hope for more good things to come. I won't read through each of these lest we get too long a little here, but it is worth mentioning that even though these accolades and the top level achievement pieces are something that we really celebrate on social media and we bring them in front of you at the board meeting, the enrichment that the students get just from participating is tremendous. And so we look at these, I'm sure like you guys do too, to make sure that all of our teams or all of our groups are able to go to a music evaluation, are able to go to middle school one-act play event that we hold, that we're enriching their lives simply through the discipline that they're engaged in through the fine arts. It's not all about the winning and the trophies. And there's a few more accolades here. It's kind of awesome that we had so many students that participated in a UIL state event between the marching band kids and the theater students and all of these students listed here. This is a large number of kids that are getting a tremendous experience that they'll never forget. You know, so many kids don't get the opportunity to go to a district championship, much less something at the state level. So we're just so proud to be able to continue making you proud and doing things to bring honor and excitement to our school district. Thanks so much for the opportunity to present tonight. We appreciate y'all.
Thank you, Ms. Drinkwater. Does anybody have any comments or questions? Ms. Sells.
I just want to say that thank you for making us proud, but also thank you for, as we all go across the state or we talk to colleagues here in the area, when they hear that we are from Lewisville ISD, usually their jaws drop. Because I look at the statistics and I think how many of them would be happy if that was the last 10 years. And so for those statistics to be for our last 1 year is phenomenal. And it is a pleasure and an honor to just sit in the audience for any of these events and to cheer on these students. We definitely can see that there is staff behind them that are making this possible, that are giving them the opportunity to dream the dreams that they want to dream, whether it be on a field or sitting, playing an instrument or acting their hearts out or drawing, whatever it is. And so just thank you, because it really, we could do what we do all day long, but without the top of these two departments really believing in what we want to do and being able to put that into action is a true gift. And so I just want to thank you both. So, and please thank your staff.
Ms. Lasan.
Okay, this is one of my favorite presentations of the year, right? Because as you know, I am an unapologetic band mom. Miss Drinkwater sees me coming, she's like, oh no, here she comes. You know, so I guess I wanted to comment, you know, on this, and just happened to have a band kid, athletics. Also, Miss Lyles, you do an amazing job, and your staff. So thanks for being here. Two words that I wrote down, you know, one is that you kind of said was, one is enrichment and the other is community. And this week it happened to be kind of a big band week for us, because we had our show reveal for next year, which, let me just tell you, is crazy time. So, but it's very exciting. All the band parents, all the band kids, some alumni, all show up in the Marcus Auditorium, and Mr. Skelton was there as well, because he also is now a proud band parent. And so we, I mean, it's just so exciting, because that is just such a community of people. And it is, you know, and, you know, Dr. Rapp, you talk about us not being able to do this alone. And let me tell you, there is no better way to get your families involved than to be in fine arts or in athletics. And it's just so wonderful. And if I could ask you to come back up to the mic, Ms. Drinkwater, could you explain, because I just learned this weekend, because we also had, that's why I say it was a big band, because I also was at the band banquet at Marcus with Mr. Skelton, which was a big celebration of everything this weekend. And I learned a little bit about what a TMEA All-State musician is. And we had probably, I'm thinking 20, 25 for Marcus. But could you explain what that is to everyone? Because it's a big deal.
The TMEA audition process is threefold. So the students go to a district region level, if you compare it to athletics, and compete individually. They practice music. It's released in August, so in August and September they practice, and then they go to the initial round. If they make it through that round, there's a secondary round that Saturday. If they make it to that round, they go to area. If they make it to area, then they audition for 1 or 2 spots. But it's like there may be 10 alto saxophones in the whole state of Texas selected, and so an all-state musician is certainly a rare and wonderful accomplishment for a student.
Well, and isn't there an academic award as well, the TMEA Academic Award? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. But anyway, it's pretty amazing things. But in the other comment, okay, you don't have to stand up here anymore. Sorry, is the 3 bands. It was so cool to watch the 3 of them on the field because the Hebron, Flower Mound, and Marcus, and all of the band, the drum majors and stuff, they took these pictures together, and it was just, they came and they found each other, and they were so excited for each other, and so that's another, big community thing, which was pretty cool. So, thank you.
Dr. Barker?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to, first of all, go back to Mr. Skelton. You mentioned the 96.3 graduation rate. And I want people to know that if you also break it down by student groups, we also have incredibly high graduation rates across our various student groups. So our English learners, our special education students, our ethnicities, we beat the state in pretty much every student group category as well. And the reason why that's so important is because, and I'm sorry if I'm stealing your thunder, Madam President, but as our president is often quoted as saying, research shows that when we engage students in some sort of extracurricular activity, including fine arts and athletics, they stay in school and they graduate. And so for those that didn't make that connection, that's why that's there on the screen. But I wanted to really point out that it's not just our all students group, it's every student group, when you break it down, has exceptionally high graduation rates. So I love our accolades. And by the way, if Coach Dion needs someone to go with him to every championship, I'm happy to, because I've already jumped in the pool with him twice for those 2 state championships. But anyway, those accolades are wonderful, and I'm so glad that we get them. But at the end of the day, it's the outcomes that come from being in a program like that and graduating from high school because you were a part of that, getting those scholarships, going on to whatever is next with the skills that you learned from being on a team or participating in a fine art production, or the discipline to learn a piece of music that you're going to have to do over and over and over again. Those are the things that matter.
Dr. Taylor?
I just want to piggyback off what my colleague said about just participation and something that you said, Ms. Drinkwater, regarding, which I thought was really important. I kept trying to find the slide and could not find it, where you talked about equitable student access to high quality programs across all disciplines at all campuses. I think that that's important. And then when I look at the numbers, you're by the numbers of 100% participation, K through 5, 100% 6th grade. I think it's important to talk about that, because you mentioned we're not just trying to be great at one campus, and I think I can see that in the numbers that are being presented, and it's so important. We've talked about having students involved in activities because the outcomes are what they are. 100% of participation, and we talk about what does that look like? What does that access look like for every student in the district, and how do you make that happen? So it looks like this is, the start of something that's well on its way of doing that. So I just wanted to highlight that because I thought it was important to call out.
Ms. Alcatem?
I'm going to have to use it, ditto. I mean, because you guys have all given the same information that I was also going to highlight. Almost around roughly 82% of our student population is involved in fine arts or athletics. 82%. And that's just who's participating. That's not even who's doing the photos on the sideline. That's not the journalism students who are writing about it. That's not our marketing students who are out promoting these teams. It is we have way more than just our 82% who are participating, 38,000 students. It is our biggest classrooms, whether it's on the field, it's in the performance center, it's in the auditorium, whatever it is. And so I am so honored and grateful, because you are right, Ms. Salzman, you said that when we go out around the state to other people, we tell them we're from Lewisville ISD, and they're like, wow, can we talk about your programs that you have? What is your silver bullet? What is it that you guys do? Because we are amazing. And it's because of great people like you who spearhead it, and the teachers and the parents and the community who are all involved in order to make it special. So thank you so much for allowing our students and our community to be a part of it, because it is phenomenal. And once again, research does show students who are engaged and participating will be successful. The data shows it. We prove it here. Thank you.
Ms. Lopez.
I'll cap us off before you officially cap us off on this topic. But I just want to say, first of all, thank you. And I want to note that the fine arts and athletic programs don't just impact the LISD community, but the broader community. And I think that our community needs to understand that. I frequent the Lewisville Grand Theater, and I take my little 1-year-old, he's about to be 1 next week, and I take him to see the LISD art shows. So as a little baby, he's been impacted. So I just want to say thank you. At the Lewisville Grand Theater, I go to the Lewisville Link Symphony, and not only are our LISD art shows showcased at the MCL, but specifically at those symphonies, our VASE art competition winners are there. And so the broader community, not just LISD students, not just LISD parents, but anybody who resides in this area and cares about the arts gets to be impacted by the work that you are doing. And so I'm very thankful for what you're doing and the way that you've impacted our students.
We're so good, we're going to eat our own on Thursday night, because we have 2 softball teams that are competing against each other to move on, and that's Hebron and Flower Mound. So that's how good we are. I also want to reiterate something that Ms. Taylor said at 100%. It's a goal of student engagement that I know that I've advocated for, and it's attainable. And it's attainable because we have good programs. This would be a lot more difficult to get if we didn't have good fine arts programs and we didn't have good athletic programs. So I thank you both for the leadership that you provide in those, and I thank you for the way you let that leadership trickle on down to the campuses. So thank you both so much for the work. We will move on to the exciting topic of board meeting dates for 2026-27. Dr. Rapp.
Thank you, Madam President. So board policy BE local does state that regular meetings of the board shall be held on the second Monday of each month, with closed meetings beginning at 6 and open meetings beginning at 7. So I have before you this evening for information what the proposed board meeting dates are for the 26-27 school year. The one exception to board policy BE local is Columbus Day. That is being observed as a district holiday on October the 12th. So the alternate date that we have the meeting down for is October 13th. Past practice has been that you all do not meet in the month of July, so you will not see a July meeting on this schedule, as you all have a well-deserved earned break. But I'm happy to take any questions about the regular board meeting dates.
Are there any comments or questions? Ms. Sells.
I just want to thank you all for, and I know this might have been initiated with President Broznik, but moving that October date to the Tuesday instead of the next week. That seems like the longest month in history every year, because we have to wait, and then things aren't fresh in our mind, because we have all enjoyed Columbus Day in that mix. And so I just want to say thank you for doing that. Just a little note.
Thank you. It was an opportunity that I noticed it when we did March, spring break, and sometimes spring break breaks up our meetings, and it didn't happen this year, and it was really nice to have what I like to call 2 full free weeks without a meeting. So glad you like it. Next up is the monthly technology report. Dr. Garicani.
Good evening, President Prosnick, Dr. Rapp, and Board of Trustees. The monthly technology report for May reflects district technology data for the period of March 1st through March 31st, 2026. On page 1 under the board level summary, we'll begin with a snapshot of the technology services activity for the month. In March, our team handled 4,844 technology service requests. The average response time was 3.8 hours, and our average resolution time was 6.2 hours. Student participation in the device program remains very strong, with 98.56% of eligible students opted in, and the district cybersecurity training at the time of the filing of this report was 88% complete. Also on page 1, the 2017 technology bond program reflects $96.6 million in expenses, with $5.4 million remaining. IFE revenue now stands at $779,000, with fiscal year expenses through March at $111,000, leaving a balance of $3.5 million. In terms of the device lifecycle, all end-user devices remain within our replacement standards. The average age of devices for grades pre-K through 3 is now 1 year and 11 months. For grades 4 through 12, the average age is 2 years and 2 months, and teacher devices are at an average of 2 years and 3 months. On page 2, broadband access at home remains steady at just over 97%. The student opt-in rate moved slightly down from 98.85 in February to 98.56 in March, while the percentage of devices on campuses remained relatively consistent at 92.40%. Page 2 also provides an update on active technology projects. You'll see that Skyward cumulative SIS is at 73% completion. Of course, you know we have a target for implementation of this fall. Wireless controllers at 66%. The cellular DAS program, equipment is at 20%, and we are awaiting the kickoff meeting for the football stadium sound upgrade that you all approved a couple of months ago. Finally, the report includes a view of critical systems and their ages across key infrastructure areas to provide continued visibility into the lifecycle position of the district's core technology systems. And I want to thank you for your approval and consent for the wireless access points, which will definitely see an average age go much less than what's indicated in the chart. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have about this month's technology report.
Does anyone have any comments or questions? Thank you very much, Dr. Garicani. Next up, you're still up. It's for the Technology Advisory Council update.
For the first time this year, you have me in back-to-back because I'm providing the annual Technology Advisory Committee update. So this committee, as you well know, it serves an important sounding board for district technology initiatives, allowing us to share work early so we can gather feedback, stakeholder input, surface concerns, and better inform implementation before district-wide changes are finalized. Before I continue into the slide deck, I do want to take a moment to thank my colleague, Adrienne Gall, for lending her team's talent and expertise, specifically Dr. Jonas Green and Kathy Fields. I'm also grateful to the technology services leadership, which includes Michelle Jacobson, David Kuntz, and Chris Langford, together whose contributions helped shape the content and the thoughtful conversations that we had this year during these meetings. At a high level, the Technology Advisory Committee serves as a sounding board for our district, and it brings together a diverse group of stakeholders. This includes students, parents, teachers, campus leaders, and district staff, along with our technology and digital learning teams. It ensures that as we think about technology, whether it's classroom tools, systems, and student access, that we're hearing from perspectives from across the organization before decisions are finalized. We meet throughout the year at key points in our planning cycle. Each meeting builds on the previous one, starting with fall updates, moving into mid-year pilots and planning, and then shifting into spring readiness and future planning. That cadence also helps us to test ideas early, to gather feedback, and make informed decisions. And I'm sure you're aware, this is the group that also helps us with device selection ahead of future bonds. This is the group that does that. So what surfaced this year? As we looked back across this year's meetings, there were 4 consistent themes that emerged. First, on classroom technology, how we continue to modernize the instructional experience. We always have a focus on student access and safety and how the tools evolved and balancing access to those tools and making sure that we have the appropriate guardrails in process. Third, systems and operations, and this has a particular exclusive focus on our student information system and its transition and the migration. And fourth, the innovation and future learning, which included several instances of conversations around artificial intelligence, how we plan to leverage that, and we also had the last few sessions also included presentations from Dr. Aaron Harrell, who's here with us tonight, sharing about our district's expanded virtual learning opportunities under the new LISD Everywhere program. What's important here is not just the topic, but the role that the committee plays. They help us take complex work and translate it into practical, real-world implementation decisions, and they help us surface concerns early, validate direction, and think through impact before we scale. Under the technology, classroom technology modernization, one of the most visible areas, and you all have seen this throughout the year, is the implementation of our one-screen interactive panels in the classrooms. We've moved from the initial rollout to a district-wide scaling of these panels. At this point, 27 campuses have been completed with over 1,300 displays installed, and perhaps more importantly, over 1,300 teachers have been trained in how to leverage this new technology. This work required careful coordination, particularly as we navigated supply chain delays and staggered installations. But what I'm most proud of is not just the installation, it's the onboarding and support. Our digital learning team has done a phenomenal job ensuring that teachers know how to get the full list out of this new technology. Each campus receives structured training and in-class support to ensure that these tools are being used effectively. As we move forward, the focus shifts to phase 2 and long-range refresh planning, continuing this work in a thoughtful, sustainable way. And once again, you all approved phase 2 about 3 months ago, so we're getting started this summer with that. Student access, safety, and digital ecosystem. This year also included a number of conversations around student access and safety. It's not really about any one particular event. It's about just making sure that as our tools evolve, that we're keeping this focus. At a high level, the committee helped us think through how to balance instructional access with appropriate safeguards, which included piloting updates to filtering and monitoring tools, reviewing how digital resources are accessed and shared, and evaluating student device and application access in light of evolving expectations and new legislation. As we work through broader topics around digital behavior and responsible use, rather than focusing on individual incidents, the committee helped provide a more systemic approach, aligning expectations, reinforcing digital citizenship, and ensuring consistency across all the campuses. This continues to be an active area of refinement and one where stakeholder input is especially valuable. It really is great to have classroom teachers on this committee. We can say, here's something we're considering, this is what the potential impact would be, and get their feedback in the moment. Systems transition and program innovation. This spring, 2 major initiatives were central to our discussions. We kind of already talked about this, the transition from Skyward SMS to Skyward Cumulative, and then, of course, the LISD Everywhere program. Artificial intelligence continues to be a major focus this year, and I expect that to continue. What's important is the shift that we've seen. We've gone from awareness and exploration to practical implementation and support. Once again, I have to give kudos to the digital learning team. They have developed so many resources to support our teachers in the implementation and overall use of artificial intelligence. As the year progressed, the conversation evolved into how we continue to support staff with practical tools and resources, how we embed AI literacy into learning experiences, and how we approach this work through a governance lens. We're being intentional about balancing innovation with appropriate use, data privacy, and age concerns. Our goal is not just to introduce tools, but to support responsible, effective use at scale. And finally, looking ahead, the work of the committee continues to align closely with our district priorities. There are really 5 areas of key focus, actually 4 areas of key focus. The Skyward migration and training, supporting the transition and the start of the school year for fall 2026. Second, continuing to scale modernization thoughtfully, ensuring classroom technology is not just deployed but effectively used. Third, refining guardrails for student technology as expectations, tools, and it will be interesting to see what comes out of the legislative session this next year as well. And then continuing to grow innovation with support, particularly in virtual learning and artificial intelligence. At the end of the day, the TAC, Technology Advisory Committee, serves as a critical bridge. It allows us to gather stakeholder input, test ideas early, and make more informed decisions before moving forward at scale. I appreciate the time and the commitment of our committee members, and at this time, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Ms. Lopez.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you're having lots of AI conversations. It's hard not to have those types of conversations when it's in the headlines constantly. But I'm more so glad that the conversations are not just about awareness anymore, that it's about that practical implementation. And I think that as we move forward, we're just gonna keep down that path. LISD stays ahead of the curve, and I hope that we continue staying ahead of the curve in this area. Of course, that's difficult when it is a topic that seems to be able to go in any which direction. When it's in the headlines, when you're hearing the bad news about AI, and so I'm grateful that we are having these conversations and doing our best to stay ahead of the curve. When it comes to this advisory council, I think that, or committee, I think I mentioned to you already, but I think that it would be important to expand some of the voices on this specific committee to, when it comes to AI conversations, our workforce partners and higher education. I think it's critical that those voices are heard because that's where our students are going to be heading next, and to hear what's coming down the pipeline for them when it comes to AI, how it's going to impact them in college, how it's going to impact them in the workforce. I think it's critical that we hear those voices as well. So it's just something to be mindful of. And you already answered this question for me, but I would love for everybody else to hear. Can you speak to what exactly AI literacy means for both students and teachers? Is it just the how-tos of using AI, or is it the ethics component? What all does it look like? You've developed frameworks and toolkits, and so I just want everybody else to be able to understand what AI literacy means in LISD.
Really, it's a lot of different things in terms of feeling where you're not fearful of using it, but you're also not treating it as an opportunity for just students to cheat academic integrity concerns, leveraging it effectively as a thought partner. And I can't really speak directly to how our teaching and learning team is helping to support teachers in that. I will tell you, in terms of my professional network, I have higher education contacts. They're all dealing with a lot of the same things that we're dealing with. There's been a huge onslaught of higher education who have pushed back against having students use this because of the academic integrity concerns that have been expressed. So right now, I think we're at a capacity building stage with our staff. It's getting them comfortable with it so that they can be comfortable helping students leverage it. I know that our team is looking at what types of curriculum we would want to adopt and have informed in terms of whether it starts at the tech centers or it's layered through the high schools. We've been very thoughtful and intentional about kind of pulling back on, just because there was some initial access to things like ChatGPT and those tools. We've now pulled that back so we can be much more intentional with what tools we want students to use. I had a meeting with Google last week. Our digital learning team and our team had a meeting with Google last week. I'm working with Dr. Rapp and our leadership here to see what tools we think we could find some funding to actually license and use within the district so we can have the benefits of AI that's more integrated within the Google ecosystem and other tools that we use. We have that available through Microsoft. We want to teach students to leverage this in a way that's effective and not just, here's what I need to have done, give me the output so I can give it to my teacher. That's what we want to work to address.
Thank you. Our students are entering a completely different world than I think any of us are maybe prepared for. And so I'm thankful that we're having these conversations, and I know that our students are going to be prepared because we are having these conversations.
Anybody else? I just wanted to say that I think of this in the same way I think of safety and security, and that's layers. And I appreciate all the layers that the TAC provides, and the thoughtfulness and the intentionality that you talked about. And I agree with Ms. Lopez. I was having a conversation the other day with someone who's about to have a baby, and something came up about, I knew them when they got their driver's license, and they reminded me that their child might not need a driver's license because they will be self-driving cars. And so that's the world that we're preparing our kids for, just a short 16 years down the road. So I thank you for the intention. I thank the committee members so much for their time and sharing of their talents and their expertise on the committee. So thank you very much, Mr. Garicani, Dr. Garicani. Next up is our discussion items, the monthly financial report, including bond report, land sale report, and the monthly investment summary. Mr. Rare.
All right, good evening. The monthly financial reports are for financial results as of March 31st. A few of the highlights on the revenue and expenditure summary report. We received 95% of our general fund revenue through March, while our general fund expenditures, we've spent 54% through March. On the child nutrition fund summary, we have a $3 million surplus through March. And then the last highlight is on the 2024 bond summary. We currently have an available balance of $20 million, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there any comments or questions for Mr. Rare? Thank you so much. Next up is the district-wide intruder detection audit report findings. Mr. Garrett.
Good evening to you all. This report is going to be for the months of April and May. Intruder detection audits were conducted by the TEA at Bluebonnet Elementary School, Briar Hill Middle School, DeGan Elementary, Hebron High School, Indian Creek Elementary, Marcus High School, Morningside Elementary, Peters Colony Elementary, STEM Academy at Donald, and STEM Academy at Memorial Elementary. Any corrective actions have already been completed, and we will be back in the fall when the detection audits begin again. I'll take any questions.
Any comments or questions? I want to recognize the fact that after our May 4th meeting, the next morning you got up very early and drove to Austin to testify at the TEA public testimony hearing on proposed resolutions for House Bill 121, which was on May 5th. So you drove 8 hours for about 2 minutes of testimony?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. I want to thank you for being a voice in that realm and for being a leader in that, and we are proud to call you ours. So I just wanted that recognized that you did that on behalf of the district, so thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Next up are action items. Consider approval of the long-range plan that we've been waiting a long time for. Dr. Miller.
Woohoo! Okay, thank you for all of your feedback that you have given over this long process of developing and recalibrating the long-range plan. We're excited about the final draft that is in the board book for you to look at. Just to highlight a couple things we've edited based on feedback, where we landed on our student learning goal about transferable skills. So thank you for recognizing out in the real world, that's what they talk about. So we were like, that's awesome, we'll use that. And then the measure, we've been talking about student engagement tonight, we actually ended up flipping that measure, and instead of saying 100% of how do we decrease those that are not engaged, so that we can have specific target of, like we have the kids we're looking at in order to help decrease. So we kind of flipped that one. We are changing, or we're recommending changing resource stewardship to strategic investment based on y'all's feedback. Scott and them found 2 more indicators to add, so there'll be 9 to the list. Some things we already do, but making sure, we want to make sure we uphold those, so we'll be including those in there. And then based on the communication conversation, we are going to we do measure parent communication right now, so we're going to keep that, and then we switch for the superintendent evaluation of us being responsible for the parent, but campuses will still have teacher on their scorecard. So, and that's it.
Are there any comments or questions? The only thing, let me call for a motion first. Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Lopez.
Thank you. I move that the board approve the proposed long-range plan as recommended by administration.
Is there a second? Dr. Barker. The only thing I wanted to say is that when I look at our beliefs, 83.3% of our beliefs center around students, with the remaining 16.7% focused on their families and the communities they come from. And I think this says what we do, which is that we have focused on our students are the majority part of our belief system, and that the other 16% is about where they come from, and because they are a product of the communities around them. And I just want to thank you for the work and for keeping that focus where we like to keep it. With that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? That is 7-0. You have your 2030 vision plan. Next up is to consider approval of the TXVSN course review process review waiver. Dr. Rapp.
Thank you, Madam President. Aaron Harrell's here tonight. Should there also be any questions, this is pretty standard that comes before you. Having our courses in the Texas VSN catalog impacts ADA funding for students taking an LISD-provided Texas VSN course. In order to be ADA eligible for LISD students, online courses have to either be approved through Texas VSN approved or district approved through the waiver process that we're bringing before you this evening. So we will submit waivers of course review as needed throughout the 2026 school year for new courses being developed and existing courses that need to be renewed. And I thank Aaron for his work on this.
Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Lasan.
I move that the board approve a 3-year waiver of the Texas VSN course review process for the recommended courses as presented by administration.
Is there a second? Ms. Alkateb? Any comments or questions? With that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? That is 7-0. Motion carries. You're clear. Next up is consider approval of employee benefits proposal. Dr. Rapp.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. We bring before you this employee benefits proposal that we've been discussing compensation and benefits throughout the spring. So this recommendation is a culmination of several meetings. I want to say thank you to Ms. Cobb and our HR team so much who are waiting patiently for these items. Thank you for your work. Region 10, as we discussed Monday night at the work session, is the most expensive district when it comes to benefits, but Region 11 is really closely right next to Region 10 as well. I want to point out there was no funding from the 89th legislature to address employee benefits, but we know that that TRS wants to see more people participate in these plans, but they've not given you a means by which to do this. So thank you for the hard decisions you've made about the budget, that tonight we're bringing for you a recommendation to increase the district contribution to $400 for all plans across the board. In effect, for any employee that takes that plan, that would be $4,800 more they would be earning this coming school year. And we'll be happy to take any further questions. This will require you to spend an additional $2 million beyond what you had budgeted this last school year. So this will bring your benefits cost spend up to about $18 million.
Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Sells.
I move that the board approve the recommendation to increase the district contribution for all employee benefit plans to $400 as presented by administration.
Is there a second? Ms. Taylor? Dr. Taylor? Are there any comments or questions? With that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. Vote carries 7-0. Next up is to consider approval of market rate adjustments. Dr. Rapp.
Yes, Madam President, what we're bringing you this evening as part of the compensation plan is market rate adjustments. Principals, bring them to 100% of the market. Special education critical needs stipend, bring that to 100% of the market. That would raise that stipend to $3,500. Adjust the doctoral stipend to $1,700. Add speech pathologists to the longevity pay. That would give them a stipend of $1,000 in addition to DIAGs and psychs who currently receive those funds. The cost to implement these adjustments as presented to you last Monday night is $321,000. There was no funding from the 89th legislature to address these critical compensation considerations. And with that, I'll turn it back over to you, Madam President.
Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Alkateb.
I move that the board approve the recommended market rate adjustments as presented by administration.
Is there a second? Dr. Barker? Any comments or questions? All right, with that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Vote carries unanimously, 7-0. Moving on, consider approval of salary raises. Dr. Rapp.
Madam President, members of the board, again, for all staff to know we've been discussing compensation for several months, and the team has brought you several different iterations, answered many questions, provided many different configurations. What we're bringing you this evening in salary raises will cost the district $7.6 million. There was not additional funding provided by the 89th legislature in order to address raises for staff, and there was not additional funding from that legislature for additional money on top of the teacher retention allotment. This salary raise plan has a 3% of the midpoint raise for all staff that are not included in the teacher retention allotment, TRA eligible classroom teachers, and district-funded non-instructional professionals that you all created equitable pay for earlier in the school year. If they're years 1, 2, and 4, they would receive a 3% of the midpoint raise. Mr. Chafin has explained through many charts why the year 4 teachers are included in that category. That would be on average, that would be an amount for those staff members of $2,100. In order for year 3 teachers to receive a raise, they're now eligible for TRA, and they would receive the increase according to that amount determined by House Bill 2. Years 10 through 15 would receive a $500 increase in addition to the TRA amount they received this last school year. Years 16 through 19, a $1,000 increase. Years 20 and up, a $1,500 increase. So again, board, just thank you for your work and hard decisions, from school retirements and budget reductions to identify critical funds to put towards a compensation plan to help us compete for staff, both recruit and retain staff for the 26-27 school year. And I'll turn it back over to you, Madam President.
Would someone like to make a motion? Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the board approve the proposed 2026-2027 compensation plan as presented by administration.
Is there a second? Ms. Lopez? Any comments or questions? Dr. Barker.
I'll just continue to beat a dead horse because I can. The legislature did us a real disservice in writing House Bill 2 the way that they did. Anyone who knows me knows I'm all for teacher raises. But without the funding to be able to also compensate all of the staff that are around our teachers and support our teachers, without the ability to pay the teachers who are not yet in the TRA, without the ability to layer compensation for teachers who have been here for over 20 years. Took a lot of control out of our hands to be able to compete and retain those solid teachers. So I appreciate staff putting together these proposals, and to my fellow board members for all the conversation around compensation to make sure that we take care of our staff.
Thank you, and I want to thank Mr. Chafin for his great work on this and coming to all of our work sessions and explaining things. I think, quite frankly, what these last 3 votes is our strategic investment, if you will, in the front lines of education here in the district. And I think that it shows that we value those frontline educators, and we also value those that support those frontline educators, because they couldn't do their jobs without that support. So to me, that is what these last few votes have been about. With that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. The vote carries 7-0. Next up, consider approval of Project Elevate, differentiated compensation for Title I schools. Dr. Rapp.
Thank you, Madam President, members of the board. We've also been talking several months about how do we address recruitment and retention at schools with school factors with some higher needs. As I said on Monday night, we already recognize this in how we allocate campus budgets. We already recognize this in how we do staffing formulas. So this is now layering in an additional differentiated mathematical calculation of support for a Title I differentiated compensation plan. Now, we have talked as of last Monday as well about what to call this. I referenced it as Project Elevate for rolling out the concept of this differentiated compensation plan. Looks like we'll be shifting that title to Project Rise, talking about recognizing the investment in student excellence, yes, and the comms team and y'all's feedback along with leadership team have really brought that whole idea together, and it marries with the long-range plan wording that you just passed a few items ago. So the item that I'm bringing before you this evening would be an approach to tiering our Title I schools, as I discussed with you at the work session on Monday. This recommendation is to phase in compensation for those schools who are deemed to be most at risk based on their school factors. That's what we would call Tier 3. That will cost $595,000 approximately. We will break teachers into two different categories at those schools. Critical subject area course teachers at Tier 3 schools would receive their $600 Title I stipend plus a $4,000 stipend. Complementary subject area and courses that are your electives, enrichment, your specials would receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to their Title I $600 stipend. Assistant principals and counselors would receive a $3,000 stipend in addition to the $600 Title I, and your principals would receive a $4,000 stipend. This proposal does what you all had asked, which is to not consider compensation based on getting into a low state accountability rating. It also does what you've asked in terms of not tying pay to a certain type of test score, but it recognizes there are school factors that put some of our campuses in different situations. And Dr. Barker, to the point that you've all discussed, it takes all the staff at those schools to meet the needs of our students. So with that, I'll turn Project RISE, differentiated compensation for Title I schools, back over to you, Madam President.
Would someone like to make a motion? Dr. Taylor.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the recommendation to implement Project RISE stipends for the 2026-27 school year as presented by administration.
Second, Ms. Sells. Are there any comments or questions? Ms. Lopez.
I'm just thrilled to see this plan come to the board tonight. I think we recognized a need. We saw that there was some flaws in the state accountability system, and I thank you, Dr. Rapp, for coming up with a creative alternative to what the state has offered. And I think this tiered model is smart because it's data-driven, and we are weighing factors that are outside of our control. And at the same time, we are spurring on and encouraging our teachers to do what they do best, and retaining our excellent teachers is at our most at-risk schools, I think, is the best strategic investment that we can make as a district. So thank you, and a great teacher in these at-risk classrooms is going to change the trajectory for these students. And so keeping those excellent teachers in those classrooms and recruiting excellent teachers to those classrooms is what we need to be all about. So thank you.
Dr. Taylor.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a few thoughts. Teachers and staff are not just the heart and soul of LISD. They are the lifeline of this district. A thank you and a grateful heart goes a long way, but compensation in this period of rising prices goes even farther. I am proud this board has made an important and strategic investment in our people if this passes to the tune of $14.3 million when you consider the past market adjustments that we did. This has been done through market adjustments, raises, benefits increases, and now Project RISE if it passes. And I just want to thank this board and Dr. Rapp for your heart for kids. I think this will go a long way in retention and, as my colleague said, changing the trajectory for our students.
Dr. Barker.
Thank you, Madam President. I see Project RISE as an alternative to some other models that we are seeing happening in some of our fellow districts, some even within our region. And I don't know if this is a project for myself or for Dr. Fitzhugh or some combination thereof, but I would love for us to track side by side how a program like this does on a variety of factors, as opposed to some other models that other districts are using with high-need campuses. And especially when it comes to sustainability of those changes. Because what I've seen in my own research and data analysis is that when some of these models serve their purpose and are removed, then those campuses bounce right back into school improvement. I have some really cool alluvial diagram graphs to show you what that looks like if you want it. But I think that the way that this model is written, you're not going to see that happen. There's going to be much more sustainability. And that's what I'm looking forward to. So I'd love to see us do a little bit of tracking on that.
Well, I echo my board members' comments and just say once again, this is an investment in some of our teachers who work on campuses with students that come, as I like to say, to climb the mountain of education, sometimes not fully equipped, and that this will help them to do that. So I once again appreciate the work of Tim and team because I know that that's where the money, we get our numbers. I will say that. So with that, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? And that is unanimous. The vote carries 7-0. Next up is consider approval of the 2026-27 Audit Committee recommendations. Ms. Sells.
Yes. I want to first thank the Board Internal Audit Committee members, and that is Ms. Lasan and Ms. Alcatib. We've had various conversations throughout the year. Of course, last year we postponed a department audit because of the financial state that we were in and due to state funding. And so, but this year, we would like to bring forward a proposal for initiation of an RFP for an independent audit of the academic program management. And I want to say that, and I did write something this afternoon, and I want to read it, because sometimes when we talk about the internal audit, this board has made it very clear it's not a gotcha. And I want to reiterate that, because when we've talked about our academic program success, and you think, why would we need a management audit of that? But an internal audit is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that we care enough to keep getting better. It reflects an organization committed to excellence, accountability, and continuous improvement. Just as we are asking our students, our staff, our teachers to do, we want to do the same. We want to model that. The strongest organizations are never afraid of examination because they understand that even top-performing teams, which I believe LISD is, can grow stronger by asking the simple question, how can we be even better tomorrow? And so with that, the committee would like to bring forward that proposal to initiate an RFP for an independent audit of academic program management.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I will make that motion. I thank you. I move that the board approve the 2026-27 Audit Committee recommendations.
Is there a second? Ms. Lasan. Any comments or questions? I thank the committee for its work. With that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? Vote carries 7-0. Next up, to consider action on the superintendent contract. The board already approved the majority of this contract. We had to do some slight fine-tuning on it, but we are pleased to present this, our amazing superintendent's contract, after we did her summative review on April 29th. Would someone like to make a motion? Ms. Lasan.
I move that the board approve the superintendent contract.
Is there a second? Ms. Alcatib. Any comments or questions? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor? And that is unanimous, 7-0. No action will be taken on items N through P. And with that, if there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned, and the time is 9:33 p.m. Thank you for your service, Ms. Alcatab.